I suppose. Okay. Om. ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं चैव ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्रः येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। अथ श्रीमद् भगवद गीता अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः अर्जुन विषाद योगः। धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत संजय। संजय उवाच दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानेकं व्यूढं दुर्योधनस्तथा आचार्यमुपसंगम्य राजा वचनमब्रवीत् पश्येतां पाण्डुपुत्राणाम् आचार्य महतीं च मों व्यूढां द्रुपदपुत्रेण तव शिष्येण धीमता अत्र शूरा महेश्वासा भीमार्जुन समायुधे युयुधानो विराटश्च द्रुपदश्च महारथः दृष्टकेतुश्चेकितानः काशीराजश्च वीर्यवान् पुरुजित् कुन्तिभोजश्च शैब्यश्च नरपुङ्गवः युधामन्युश्च विक्रान्त उत्तमौजाश्च वीर्यवान् सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्व एव महारथाः अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तान् निबोध द्विजोत्तमा Nayaka mama sainyasya Sanjnardantan bravimi te Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Krupascha Samitinjayaha Ashvathama Vikarnascha Saumadastistadhaiva cha Anye cha bahava shuraha Madadhe chakta jevitaha Anye cha bahava shuraha Madadhe chakta jevitaha Nana shastra praharanaha Sarve yuddha visharadaha Aparyaptam tadasmakam Balam bhishmabhirakshitam Paryaptam tvidame tesham Balam bhimabhirakshitam Ayaneshu cha sarveshu Yatha bhagamavastitaha Bhishmamevabhirakshantu Bhavanta sarva eva hi Tasya sanjanayan harsham Kuru vruddha pitamaha Simhanadam vinadyochaihi Shankham dadmau pratapavan Tata shankascha bheryascha Panavanaka gomukaha Sahasevabhyahanyasta Sashabdastu mulo bhavat Tata shvetairyukte ma Tata shvetairyukte mahati shandane stitau Madhava pandavaschaiva divyau shankau pradadmatuhu Panchajanyam hrushikesho devadattam dhananjayaha Paundram dadmau mahashankam Bhima vrukodaraha Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha Nakula Sahadevascha Sughoshamani Pushpakau. Hey, where have you gone? Sughoshamani Pushpakau Kashyascha Parameshwasaha Shikhandi cha Maharadaha Drushtadjumno Viratascha Satyakischa aparajitaha Drupado Draupadeyascha Sarvasha Prudhivipate Saubhadrascha Mahabahuhu Shankhan Dadma Prudhak Saghosho Dhartarashtrana Hridaya Nivyadharayat Nabhascha Prudhivim Chaiva Tumulo Vyanunadayan Atha Vyavastitan Društva Dhartarashtraन् Kapidvajaha Pravrutte Shastra Sampate Dhanurugnyamya Pandavaha Krushikesham Tada Vakyam Idamaha Mahipate Senayo Arjuna Vavacha Senayo Rubhayor Madhye Radham Stapaya Mechuta Yavadetan Niriksheham Yodhukamanavastitan Kairmaya Sahayodhavyam Asmin Rana Samudjame Yotchamanana Viksheham Ye Tetra Samagataha Dhartarashtrasya Durbuddhehe Yuddhe Priyachikeshavaha. We have come thus far, isn't it? Maybe one extra sloka I have chanted.
Yes, we have come till here.
We have come up to why the audio is weak.
I can hear you, Nana. Nice and loud.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think I chanted one extra sloka. Yavadatan niriksheham yodhukaman avastitan kairmaya sahayodhavyam maspindana samujyame. I think we stopped there yesterday. Now, any questions? When we were about chanting the Shanti Pata, some lady said one question.
Yes, yes. This is Sunita. I was wondering about the Agni Devata, like, when Arjun got that Ratham from Agni Devata, so Agni Devata asked Arjun to protect, to help him. So I was wondering, Agni Devata himself could burn the Khanda Prastha Vana to get Aushadis. So what help he asked from Arjuna? That was not clear to me.
Every time, yeah, good question. Every time Agni Devata started burning the Khandavavana, Indra went on pouring a lot of rain and extinguishing the fire. That was Agni Devata's problem. That is how he sought the help of Krishna Arjunas, who have nicely made a huge canopy, impenetrable canopy through which rainwater cannot come inside. That kind of a canopy with arrows Arjuna made, and Krishna ensured that Indra does not give any trouble.
Okay, okay. Now it is clear, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Arjuna Vavacha. Now, Arjuna, we said he has got 10 names. Some people say he has got some 14 names, etc. Out of that, some are perhaps not very relevant. Some are related to his physical strength and things like that, like Mahabahu, etc. But the 10 questions which are accepted as Arjuna's names in the Mahabharata are Arjuna, Arjuna the bright one, Phalguna. Phalguna is the one who was born in the Phalguni Nakshatra. Pardha. Pardha is the son of Prudha. Prudha is Kunti. Kiriti, because he was decorated by none other than the head of the gods, Indra. Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya, just prior to the Rajasuya Yaga of Yudhishthira, all the four brothers, Arjuna, Bhimsena, Nakula, Sahadeva, they go to 4 different quarters to defeat people and bring in a lot of money, and also invite people for the Rajasuya Yaga. During that time, Arjuna brings in a lot of wealth, cartloads of wealth. Such a lot of wealth was not seen by anybody. And all that Yudhishthira has very nicely distributed during the Rajasuya Yaga. And another name for Arjuna is Bhibhatsu. Bhibhatsu, he was given the title because it may look like he is a very terrible fighter. No, he is a very fair fighter, very honest, very fair, and he has already announced that he will not fight people who have shown their back, and he will not fight people without arms, and he will not fight people who are the only sons of their parents, etc., etc. All those conditions he has put down. Now, Bhibhatsu, he has not used a second arrow on his enemy. One arrow and enemy is kind of silenced, Bhibhatsu, and he used to go forward. Afterwards, he was never intent on making mincemeat of the enemy whom he has already decapacitated. Like, for instance, a right-handed man he is wielding his bow and arrow and sword and things like that. Arjuna simply cuts off the right arm. When that happens, he is incapacitated, he can't do anything. And Arjuna afterwards used to proceed forward. And this enemy is already taken care. Others, what they will do, they will cut away the other limbs of that enemy and make a big mess of the battle. Arjuna was never like that. He was a very, very fair fighter. Bhibhatsu. Then Shvetavahana. Shweta is what? White. Shvetavahana. His chariot was yoked to white steeds, white horses. Shvetavahana. Then another name is Sabyasachi. Sabyasachi. This means what? The one who can use the bow with the left arm also. Sabyasachi. Then there are two names which are synonymous. One is Jishnu. By that name he is known. And the synonymous name for this Jishnu is Vijaya. Vijaya means the one who is always victorious. He has not spared an enemy without silencing him. Vijaya. And that also has the meaning of Jishnu. And the last name is Krishna. Krishna is because of his color, dark in complexion. Krishna. So Arjuna. Arjuna Vumacha. What did he say? Arjuna. Earlier verse, can you please project Brahmara? No. Senayoho ubhayor madhye me radham stapayachyuta. Arjuna Bhavach. Hrishikesham tada vakyam idamaham mahipate. Senayoho ubhayor madhye me radham stapaya achyuta. Hey Achyuta, hey Krishna, please take my chariot into the middle of both the armies. Why? Yavadetan niriksheham yodhukaman avasthitan kairmaya sahayodhavyam asmin rana samudyame. I would like to see all those people arrayed there, assembled there, desirous of fighting. Who are those willing to fight me? And not only that, I would like to see all those people who have come to the side of Duryodhana to make him happy, and they are on his side for fighting against us. I would like to see them. Yeah, next verse. Yeah. Yavadetan niriksheham yodhukaman namastitan kaihi maya sahayodhavyam. Kaihi, who would like to fight me, etc. I would like to see. Yavadetan niriksheham. I would like to see all these people arrayed there. Yodhukama namastitan. All these people who are very keen on making battle against us. Right. Next. Yotchamananaveksheham ye tetra samagataha dhartarashtrasya durbuddhehe yuddhe priyachikirshavaha. That yuddhe is here. Okay? Yotchamananaveksheham. I would like to see. Aveksheham, I would like to see all those people who are very keen on giving battle to us. And they have assembled here. Dhartarashtrasya durbuddhehe, that durbuddhi fellow, who the Duryodhana, though his father was blind physically, This fellow is blind mentally. Duryodhana. Okay. Dhattarashtrasya durbuddhehe. Yuddhe priyachikirshavaha. All those people have assembled out of fear of Duryodhana and also to make him happy fighting on his side against us. I would like to see all those. Next verse, please. Yeah. Sanjaya Uvacha Evamukto Hrushikesho Gudakeshena Bharata Senayorubhayor Madhye Sthapayitva Radhotamam. Now Sanjaya, the narrator has come. Wonderful narrator. He sees everything. Nobody has the power to see everything. He can not only see everything, he was bestowed the power to think of the thoughts of people. What are they thinking? That kind of a thing. So, eva mukto Hrishikesho, eva mukto. Thus the saying, Hrishikesho. Hrishikesho is Hrishikan Ishaha. For the sense organs, he is the Lord. Hrishikan Ishaha. Okay? Hrishikesha Gudakeshena Bharata. This Gudakesha, he is supposed to have 1 hour sleep, I believe. Gudakesha. 1 hour sleep means when the situation demanded that he shall not sleep, he used to banish sleep. Like all of us used to do during our exam days. Just next day is a very tough exam. I have not really prepared well. And so many of my friends have telephoned and said, hey, did you read that? Did you read this? I believe there's a gunshot question. My God, it made me very, very nervous. And I spent all night studying. And that question did not come at all. That's how we have all been Gudakeshas once in a while in our lifetime, or twice in a while during the exam time. But Arjuna had the power to banish sleep whenever he wished. Gudakeshena Bharata. The other meaning for Gudakesha is, people say he used to sleep very sound on horseback whenever the situation demanded. After a lull in the battle, for instance, when there is nobody creating any problem, etc., he used to simply be on the horseback and sleep. Gudakeshena Bharata. Senayoho Ubhayor Madhye. In between the two armies. Sthapayatva Radhottamam. Having stopped the Uttamaradham. What is that Uttamaradham? Mahatishyandane Sthitau. We have seen earlier. Mahatishyandane Sthitau. Madhava Pandavasyaiva. Divya Ushankau Pradatmatuhu. We have seen earlier. That is a divine chariot given by the fire god. Not only that, after Bhagavan Krishna has taken over the Sarajyam of the chariot, he has ensured that Arjuna will be at all times protected by him. That Mahatis Chandane Stitau, that Mahatis Chandana has even improved in its quality. Various arrows and astras, shastras coming and hitting, aimed at both Arjuna and Krishna, they would do no harm. That Arjuna will be protected was ensured by Bhagavan Krishna. Okay. Next one.
Can we draw a corollary from this? Arjuna's charioteer was Krishna, and therefore he was protected. Similarly, when one is on the path of spirituality, on this path, it is like you've yoked your life to spirituality. Would we all get that concept, the protection of the divine? I mean, I'm just drawing a corollary to this.
Divine has already assured. Teshamaham samudhatta mruchu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat padha maya veshita chetasam. Bhagavan has given that protection. And he has also said, in their minds, ajnana janitam moham, I will nashayamyatma bhavana. I will take care of them. In the 7th chapter, I think, there are 7th or 10th maybe. 1 minute. And he says, Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. Tesham aham anukampardham aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayamyasta bhavastaha jnanadipena bhasvata. These are the assurances given by Bhagavan. I will destroy their ajnanam, okay, by lighting the jnana deepena bhasvata, in their minds. I will, as though, be the light for the lamp in the mind. The lamp is the jnana deepa. These are the assurances given by Bhagavan. And elsewhere in the Puranas, they say, you make one step towards Bhagavan, he would come 10 steps towards you. He is more interested in embracing you than you embracing him. That is mentioned in the Puranas. Okay. Yeah, next verse. Yeah. And where did Bhagavan Krishna keep the chariot? Bhishmadrona pramukataha sarvesham cha mahikshitam. No, there is another thing missing, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that was the right.
Anyway, I have taken my text. Okay. Sanjaya Uvacha, I'm going back again. Evamukto Hrishikesho Gudakeshena Bharata Senayoho Ubhayor Madhye Stapayatva Radhotamam. And where did he stop the Radhotamam? Bhishmadrona Pramukataha. Yeah, you are right. Bhishmadrona Pramukataha Sarvesham cha Mahekshitam Uvacha. Who Uvacha?
Krishna.
Huh?
Krishna.
Krishna said, this is the first time in the entire Gita that Bhagavan opened his mouth. Bhagavan has opened his mouth, which generally will be missed out by people reading the Gita. They will think only in the 2nd chapter, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, that etc. is there. No, here Bhagavan has made an introductory remark as though Uvacha. What was the Bhagavan's Vakyam? Partha Pashya Etan Samavetan Kuruniti. Hey Partha, hey Prudhasasan, hey Arjuna, oh my dear friend, Pashya. Pashya means see clearly. Etan, all these people, Samavetan, who have assembled here. Etan Pashya. Etan Samavetan Kurun iti. All these Kurus who have assembled here, you please see. What is this Kurun? Who are the Kurus? Who are the Kurus?
Bhishma, Duryodhana, all the Kauravas.
No,
Both the
not.
Pandavas, both the armies. Both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Samavetan Kurun. Because Arjuna wanted Senayoho Ubhayor Madhye Mes Radham Stapaya Achyuta, which Achyuta has done. And after having done, he says, Pashya Kuruniti. You see all the Kurus. Who are all the Kurus? Hey Arjuna, you are another Kuru. Yudhishthira is another Kuru. Pandava's army is Kuru army. Duryodhana's army is also Kuru army. Pashyetan, Samavetan, Kuruniti. All these Kurus gathered here. There is nobody other than the Kuru there. In the sense, either the Kurus are there or the people, the neighboring kings who have come to assist the Kurus on either side. So they're all Kurus kind of. Samavetan Kuruniti. Now, we must take stock of Arjuna. What kind of a person is he? What kind of a person is Arjuna? He is the third of the Pandavas, right? And when he was born, I believe there was an announcement in the Akashwani. Akashwani has said he is going to be a terrible bowman to all his enemies. He will win a lot of laurels. He will be invincible. He cannot be defeated by anybody. And he will be the joy of the Kurus. He will be the joy of the Pandavas, etc. like that. All those things were given. That is one. Secondly, as he grew up, amongst all the Pandavas, except Bhimasena, who was given to being slightly rude and things like that, except that, he was also very noble and very good. Arjuna, from A to Z, he was absolutely noble, very decent, a person very, very pleasant to talk to, a person in whose company you would revel. That kind of a person, Arjuna. And Arjuna, one thing he did not know. He learned a lot of things from Dronacharya, but he could not learn one thing. You know what? What is that? Fear. Fear is something he could never learn. Arjuna the fearless. That is how during the Uttara Gograhana, single-handed, he fought all the Kurus. When Uttara Kumara was running away from the battlefield, he ran after him, brought him, requested him to be his charioteer, and vanquished all the Kurus single-handed. Fearless Arjuna. Not only that, he is the one who had a lot of divine weapons. And the divine weapons he was using in a very appropriate manner. simply because he had the divine weapon. He was not simply abusing the power of the weapon. Arjuna was such a great fellow. And when in the Indra's court, Bhagavan Indra has organized some dance, what do you call that, recital, dance program by Urvasi, Menaka, and I believe Rambha also. When he has arranged that, Arjuna's eyes were locked on Urvashi. This Indra has seen. Why he is always looking at Urvashi? Then Indra thought, maybe he started developing a liking for her. Right? You know, and you know why he was looking at Urvashi like that? Can anybody say the reason for Arjuna's looking at Urvashi like that? Who is this Urvashi? As far as Arjuna and his family, his Vamsha is concerned, who is Urvashi? Was he not the was he not in the family of Pururava? Pururava and Urvashi, they were together like husband and wife, and that Urvashi gave birth to a lot of illustrious people, Ayush, etc. And through him, Nahusha, through him, Yayati, through him, Puru, and Arjuna belongs to the Puru clan, and Krishna belonged to the Yadu clan. Both the clans began from Yayati. And all this was possible because of Urvasi being with Pururava for a long time. That is why he was reverentially looking at Urvashi, and he was kind of recapturing all those things, what he has learned. But Indra mistook, and he has organized the same evening for Urvashi to go to him to please Arjuna. Urvashi comes there with all guiles and things like that, very, very nicely dressed, highly nicely perfumed, and she says, I am yours. Hey Arjuna, Arjuna says, oh mother, don't say that. Urvashi says, what is this? You are calling me mother? There's nothing like mother and daughter here in the Swargaloka. Okay? This is a place for enjoyment. Then Arjuna says, no, you are equivalent to my mother Kunti to me. Please forgive me. I can't acknowledge your advances. Please go away. At that time, Urvashi curses him. You fellow, you are behaving like a eunuch, so you remain a eunuch. Then Indra comes to know this. He modifies that curse to be operative whenever Arjuna chose for 1 full year. And afterwards, the curse will vanish. That was when, during the Ajñātavasa, Arjuna has chosen to be the Bruhannala, the dance teacher, the songs teacher for the palace princesses, Uttara and the rest. Such a great fellow. And at the end of the Uttara Gograhanam war, you know what happens? Virata, the king of Virata Nagara, he was so pleased with Arjuna. He says, I'm giving Uttara in marriage to you. You know, what a noble character Arjuna has exhibited then. He says, no, I shall not take Uttara as my wife, but I shall take her as my daughter-in-law. That is because her character should not be doubted by others. I have been in the inner apartments, though I was a eunuch during that one full year. I was a eunuch. I was in the inner apartments, and I have been with Uttara, okay, in and out, teaching songs and dance and things like that. So people may think that I have misbehaved with her. That kind of a thing will be a blot on her character. I would like to erase that. I will take her as my daughter-in-law. When I take her as my daughter-in-law, that means what? You are taking a princess of whose morality you are entirely satisfied. That is what Arjuna's nobility was shown time and again at different times to different people, etc. So that kind of an Arjuna, now he is here. And when he is here, when Krishna Bhagavan has told him, Uvacha, Padha, Pashya, Etan, Samavetan, Kuruniti, Pashya, Chudu, see. And Krishna was as though cajoling Arjuna, you wanted to see? Come on, see. See the tamasha. Pashyetan, Samavetan, Kuruniti. Then Tatra Pashyasthitan Paddaha. What all he has seen? Pitrun, Atha Pitamahan, Acharyan, Matulan, Bhratrun, Putran, Pautran, Sakhim Stata. He has seen all his people who Acharyan, the gurus, Acharyas, like Krupacharya, Dronacharya, etc. Acharyan, Matulan is what? Fathers-in-law or uncles, okay? Both apply. Matulan, Bhratrun are brothers, cousins, brothers. Duryodhana is a Bhrata. Bhima is a Bhrata. And both are clashing. Okay, only one will survive. Or both may be vanquished. Both may be killed. He has seen all these things. Right? Bhratrun, Putran, he has seen his own son, Abhimanyu. He had two other sons. One son did not come to participate in the war, Babruvahana, okay? And there was another son, Iravan, who was the son of Uluchi. Arjuna, in addition to Draupadi, had Subhadra as his wife, Uluchi and Chitrangada also as his wives. From Uluchi, he had this Iravan, who fought in the Mahabharata war. And Babruvahana, when he married Chitrangada, Chitrangada's father had made a request to Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, our Vamsha is famous for getting only one son, and that one son should be our Vamshankura. So whoever is there, you must leave him here. Don't you please take him away. Arjuna says, okay. That's how Babruvahana does not participate in the war. Pitrun, so he all these people he has seen. Putran, Lakshmana Kumara he has seen. Duryodhana's son and Dushasana's son. All those people whom he knew, all those people who were earlier calling him very reverentially. Putran, Pautran is what? Grandsons. There were grandsons also. Putran, Sakhim Stada. Sakhim, like that Saumadatti. Saumadatti is who? Bhurishrava, I said. earlier. The Bhurishrava, when Duryodhana was Asmakam tu Visishtaye Tannibodha Dvijottama, in that Samvedatis also was mentioned. Asmakam tu Visishtaye Tannibodha Dvijottama, Nayaka Mama Sainyasya, Samgyadhan Tan Brabhimite, Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha, Krupascha Samitinjayaha, Ashwethama Vikarnascha, Saumadastis Tathaivacha. That Saumadasti was a very good friend of Arjuna. Both had perhaps the same age. And Saumadatti, who is Bhurishrava, is a son of Somadatta, and Somadatta is the son of Bahlika, who was the older brother of Shantanu. Right? So this Somadatta is kind of equivalent to Bhishmacharya. He has seen Sakim Stadha. All friends also he has seen. And after seeing what happened, next verse, please. Swashuran Suhridaschaiva Senayoho Ubhayorapi Tan Samikshasya Kaunteya Sarvan Bandhun Avastitan. He has seen Swashuran, father-in-law. Swashuran, because Drupada is a father-in-law. Krishna has taken the chariot into the middle of both armies. He has seen Drupada, Swashuran, Suhrudaschaiva. Suhrut is what? Dronacharya is Suhrut. Bhishmacharya is Suhrut. People, Suhrut means what? You wish the other person well without wanting anything back in return. That is a Suhrut. And when the time comes, if you can do something, you will do that for the pleasure of, for the hitam of that person. That is the stamp of a Suhrut. All those Suhruts are there. Swashuran Suhrudaschaiva Senayoho Ubhayorapi. In both the armies, these people are there. Swashuran Suhrudaschaiva in both the armies. Tan Samikshasa Kaunteyaha, having seen all those people, Sarvan Bandhun Avastitan, Sarvan Bandhun, all relatives, all kinds of relatives who are dear to him, Sarvan Bandhun Avastitan, have assembled there, and Arjuna has seen them. And after seeing what happened? What happened? Yeah, next. Okay, I'll use my text, Nana. Yeah. Okay. Then Arjuna Uvacha Krupaya Paraya Avishtaha. Paraya Krupaya Avishtaha. Extreme compassion Avishtaha. He has been enveloped, drowned in extreme compassion. Paraya Krupaya Avishtaha. Vishidan idam abravit. Vishidan idam abravit. Vishidan, sorrowing, almost crying. Vishidan idam abravit. What did he say? What did he say? Drushtvaimam swajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupastitam. See the nobility of Arjuna once more exhibited beautifully. In the first verse, what did Dhritarashtra say? Mamaka Pandavaschaiva kim akurvata Sanjaya. Mamakaha Pandava. So he made a distinction and difference there. Here, Arjuna is saying what?
Swajanam.
Swajanam. All my people. These are all my people. Drishtvemam Swajanam Krishna. Yuyutsum Samupasthitam. They have assembled here to kill each other. They may not know, but I am realizing. Drishtvemam Swajanam Krishna. Yuyutsum Samupasthitam. And what is my condition? Sidanti mamagatrani mukham cha parisushyati vepadhushya sharire me roma harshasya jayate gandivam sramsate hastat svakyaiva paridahyate. My condition, Krishna, you don't seem to appreciate. Sidanti mamagatrani. My limbs are as though failing me. Sidanti mamagatrani mukham cha parisushyati. My mouth is going dry. Vepadhushya sharire me. And my entire body is as though shaking. Vepadhushya, it is not out of fear. It is out of paraya krupaya avishtaha. That must be understood. Fear is something which is very far into Arjuna. He never knew that word. He has never experienced that fear. Sidanti mamagatrani mukham cha parisushyati. Mukham cha parisushyati is what? My throat is going dry. You give me another minute, I may not be able to talk at Krishna. My throat is going dry. When it goes entirely dry, how can I talk? Vepadushya sharire me. The body is as though shivering. Vepadushya sharire me roma harshasya jayate. And all the hairs on my body are standing upright. Okay? Vepadushya sharire me roma harshasya jayate. Gandivam sramsate hastat. Gandivam, my great bow, is slipping away from my hands. Gandivam sramsate hastat tvakcheva paridahyate. Yeah, that is the one. Gandivam sramsate hastat tvakcheva paridahyate. Tvakcheva paridahyate means my entire skin is as though burning. Paridahyate. Nacha sheknomya vastatum. I am unable to stand, Krishna. Nacha sheknomya vastatum. Brahmati vachame manaha. My mind is as though on a spin. Brahmati vachame manaha. Nimittani cha pashyami. Viparitani keshava. Nacha shreyonu pasyami. Hatva swajanamahave. Nimittani cha pashyami. Viparitani keshava. Viparitani nimittani cha pashyami. Viparitani nimittani, that is very bad omens. I am seeing Keshava. Nacha shreyonu pashyami hatva swajanamahave. I don't see anything good that will happen to us. Nacha shreyonu pashyami hatva swajanam ahave. Hatva means killing. Swajanam, my own people, our own people. Hatva swajanam ahave. Ahave means in the battle, in the war. Hatva swajanam ahave. See, nimittani cha pashyami, viparitani keshava, nacha shreyonu pashyami, hatva swajanam ahave. Gandivam sramsate hastat, tvakchaiva paridahyate, nacha sheknomya vastatum, brahmati vachame manaha, nimittani cha pashyami. This was the condition of Arjuna, who was a very fearless warrior, and how innocently and how honestly he was depicting his condition. That must be appreciated. It's not out of fear that what Arjuna has described, the condition of his body and the condition of his mind and things like that, that Gandivam Sramsate Hastat, all those things because of Paraya Krupaya Avishtaha Vishidannidam Abravit. As though sorrowing, he has said this. Vishidannidam Abravit. Beautiful verses. Gandivam Sramsate Hastat. Gandiva. Because of that, Yudhishthira, based on Arjuna's valor and Gandiva, he has come prepared for this war. And that Gandiva is slipping out of his hands. Gandivam Sramsate Hastat Tvachaiva Paridahyate. Nacha Sheknomya Vastatum. I am unable to stand. Brahmati Vachame Manaha. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani. Viparitani nimittani cha pashyami Keshava. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani Keshava. Nacha shreyonu pashyami hatva swajanam ahave. Hatva. When we indeed start fighting, there's no end. There's only beginning for war. The end will be what? At the end of the day, because Bhishmacharya is there, he has declared at the hour of dawn, the war will start, and the hour of dusk, the war will end. And he also said, I will blow a conch, okay, indicating both the times. And afterwards, nobody shall fight anybody else. Not only that, he also said, from both the camps, people can mix and mingle with each other without any fear. After dusk, when the war has ended for the day, that was the supreme commander of Kaurava forces diktat, which was accepted. And this kind of a Dharma Yuddha continued for 10 days. Afterwards, it deteriorated. Afterwards, it went haywire. See, in the war, when you are fighting somebody, nobody else must interfere, I believe. That is the Dharma. Nobody else. When, say, Arjuna is fighting Karna, nobody else must come to the aid of either Karna or Arjuna. That was the case. And in the commanding chief, Dronacharya, when he has taken position as the supreme commander of the armed forces of Kauravas, Saubhadra was killed in a very shameless manner by the Kaurava forces. Absolutely shameless manner. We'll see all those things. Okay. Now we just have a couple of minutes for any questions.
What was the turning point that Arjuna, who's such a fearless warrior, suddenly became so soft and compassionate?
Correct. Correct. That is, see, what is being depicted by Vyasa Bhagavan is a tremendous hero, a hero who did not know any fear, as though he is fear-stricken. He is being depicted here. But he was not fear-stricken. He was stricken by Paraya Krupaya, in extreme compassion to all those people. And Arjuna, in the next few verses, he will explain. If this man is killed, what happens to his wife, etc., etc. And if this man is killed, who will offer the pindas for his fathers, for the piturs? And without that, what happens to the piturs in the Pitraloka? all those things beautifully he talks. Okay? And his compassion was not misplaced. It was based on sound logic, and he was a Vedic student. He was a student of the Vedic period, and he has learned at the feet of acharyas the good aspects of battling, warfare, etc., all these things, which he is now exhibiting. If no doubt, we'll call it a day for today. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om, everybody. We'll meet tomorrow.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you so much.
Hari Om. Thank you.